My name is Stephanie from The Well-Doing Mama. I am the mom of 8 kids, ages 21 down to 5, and we have been homeschooling for 17 plus years since the beginning of my kids. And today I wanted to share, I'm doing kind of a homeschool 101 series. And today I wanted to share with you some ideas I had about homeschool myths, things that maybe people have said to you as a homeschooler, or things that maybe keep you from wanting to homeschool. So I have a whole bunch. I'm probably not going to get through all of them because this would be a ridiculously long video, and my kids will wake up and want breakfast because we are real mamas around here. So the first myth, and this is by far the biggest that gets talked about the most, is socialization. So how will your kids be socialized if they don't go to public school? Now, number one, this is making a huge assumption that the purpose of public school is to socialize your kids. There's a lot of problems with this. Number one, most kids in school are told to stop talking and stop socializing because that's not the purpose of school. Number two, number two, you have groups of exactly the same age kids or very similar age kids together all day. In large schools, I'm sure they do some splitting up for different subjects, and so you get to mix up classrooms some. Where I live, there are some schools where there's only one class per grade level because we have some very small communities around here. You're with these same kids. That means if you don't really like some of these kids, you're still with them all day, every day, and your socialization is just learning to fit in with those kids. And that's not always a good thing because if they're not a good influence, you're fitting in with the wrong kids. Okay. So school, the purpose of school was never meant to be for socialization. It was meant to be for an education. It has turned into where people kind of form their social groups, but that doesn't mean it has to be where you form your social groups. So kids pick up a lot of bad habits from other kids. And when there's not enough supervision, which one teacher with 30 kids cannot be supervising these habits, these comments, things being said and done, to provide proper training and instruction in how to be socialized, how to act like good citizens of our country, and how to have good social interactions, which is going to vary based on your friend group and everything anyway. So in homeschooling, one of the advantages is we get a lot more control over who our kids' friends are. Now, obviously, I don't control every single detail of my kids' friends, and the older they get, the more control they have over who they're hanging out with and things. But when they're young, they're going to be hanging out with my friends as kids. And I become friends with their kids, their friends as parents. And we're all kind of hanging out, and we can provide instructions. So when one kid maybe says something unkind to another, we can talk to both kids and be like, that wasn't a very kind thing. Did you like what they said? How can we interact? How can we grow and learn to work together? So we are there to be able to provide support and instruction rather than socialization just being whoever can be loudest or strongest getting to be the one that decides how the kids are going to all act. Kids also pick up really bad habits from each other. And so those things, you don't know where everybody's coming from, or even just words. So I know some friends that don't allow the word stupid or don't allow the word crap or something along that lines, whereas other people are okay with it. And obviously we can kind of say, hey, some people don't like that word, we're not going to use that here. But in a school setting, you don't get control over the types of words and things your kids are exposed to and have to hear on a regular basis. And when you're hearing those things on a regular basis, it's harder to filter them out. And it's harder for your kids to not have those words in their mind when they're hearing them regularly. And I am sure most school teachers try to stop a lot of bad language, but number one, it varies what everybody considers bad language. And number two, they can only do so much. Okay, but the real truth is that homeschool kids are very well socialized. They can talk to people of all ages, so they can play with babies and toddlers, all the way up to being able to talk and hang out with high schoolers and even adults. We do piano recitals at a nursing home, and our kids can go up and talk to all the people at the nursing home. We did a field trip this week that was led by some older couples, and they were able to converse with those older couples. So they are able to socialize with people of all ages. And that really is what real life is more about. When in your life do you go work in a place where everybody is exactly your same age? In fact, we were kind of even laughing at a mom's night recently. One of the moms mentioned what year she was born. And then I suddenly realized I was old enough to be her mother. Yet she is a friend to me. She's on my friend level. And so as an adult, there's a 20 or plus year time frame, years that I am talking to people. I am 46. I might talk to somebody who's 25, and I might talk to somebody who's 70, and we can all be friends and acquaintances together and have conversations. So homeschoolers get that advantage now as younger people. Also, we do so many things. In fact, I often joke that our biggest issue with socialization is saying no to things so we can actually be home and get school done. And it's hard to say no because we want to do all the fun things. My kids, for instance, and I don't feel like we do a ton. I have a couple of girls doing a play right now, and it's a mix of homeschool and public school kids that are doing the play. We do a homeschool activity at the library. That's only like once a month, but still, we do that. And that's a lot of our a lot of our homeschool friends, and brings in a few different homeschool friends that we don't see as often. We go to church on Sunday morning for church and for Sunday school, so they have friends in Sunday school. We go to Awana's and youth group on Wednesday night, so they have friends they get to see there, and that's a longer time. We have dinner there. The youth group kids all have time to play and hang out, so lots of friend time there. We have a co-op we go to, and then often stay after co-op and play with some friends. We do field trips with friends. We might have play dates with friends. We'll do 4-H projects with people. We also have small group through church, which gives them another chance. The kids all kind of play and hang out while the adults are doing small groups. And that is with us limiting what our kids do. Sometimes we'll have a kid do a sport for a certain period of time. We go to a homeschool conference once a year that they get to see a lot of friends. There are ridiculous numbers of homeschool opportunities. We do park days during the summer. So the number of social opportunities is really only limited by the amount of time that we have to spend on them. So your kids can be extremely well socialized and be homeschooled. Will there be weird? Well, I'm going to get to that one later because one of mine is homeschool kids are weird. Okay. Oh, that's actually the next one I have. Homeschool kids are weird. So first myth is that homeschool kids are unsocialized. Not true. Second myth is that homeschool kids are weird. Well, the truth is some homeschool kids are going to be weird. Some public school kids are going to be weird. And some private school kids are going to be weird. Some people are just weird. Now, define weird. So for some people, weird means that you are different than somebody else. And that's okay. I want my kids to be different. I want my kids to be high academic achievers because they have the ability to do so. I want my kids to be friends to the friendless. I want my kids to be kind to people. I don't want my kids talking about dating and crushes and things like that in elementary school or even middle school. I want my kids to enjoy more conservative or what I would consider more appropriate TV shows, movies, etc. I want my kids to want to play with toys and stay in that younger age for longer and stay innocent of more of those things. I don't want my middle schooler obsessed with Sephora and skincare. So I'm okay that my kids might be weird because they're going to have different thoughts and values than other people. And that's okay. I also want my kids to know that they don't need to be like somebody else. They need to be who Christ created them to be and be strong and confident in being who Christ created them to be and not worry about what anybody else is doing and not try to people please or fit in with other people. Be yourself and your group of people will be found. Don't try to fit in with other people because that's not who God created you to be. Be who God created you to be. So that's my take on people being weird. I was probably the weird public school kid, and I'm okay with that. Like, learning to be who I was is super important to me. Okay, myth number 3, that they don't work hard enough. They get school done in just an hour or two a day. They can't possibly be learning enough. So it is true that homeschoolers can get their work done in less time. They are able to learn something and say, I know this. I maybe don't have to keep doing it. When I was a public school teacher, we were expected to teach concepts in multiple different learning styles so that all the kids could have a chance to get lessons in their learning style. That's great, but obviously if you got it off the first one, you're now sitting through it being taught 3 other ways and bored and wasting your time. Now, sometimes it can be good to hear things in multiple ways, but also sometimes it's good to go, okay, I know this, I can move on. So they also don't have to wait on transition time. I noticed at co-op how much transition time takes. Like our little kindergarten and first graders, after lunch, we take them to the bathroom to wash our hands and everything after lunch. It takes so long. And if you're doing that multiple times a day versus when my kindergartner's sitting doing school work with me, if she needs to go wash her hands or go to the restroom, she gets up, she comes right back, we're done. In a minute, we're back to doing our school. We're not waiting 15 or 20 minutes to work through that. There's the time of passing everything out, collecting everything, loading up on the bus. So having lunch, all of those things take significantly more time when you're dealing with more people. That's just natural. So yes, homeschoolers can get their work done in less time because we don't have as much transition time and we're not dealing with as many students. And it's easier to get attention of one student, right? If I have my kids not listening, I can go right to them and get their attention. If 5 kids aren't listening to a teacher, it takes more time to get all of their attention. So we can get our work done faster. That doesn't mean we're not doing hard work. Also, I then like to use our time to expand our learning in other ways. I don't necessarily push ahead on our math and language arts just so we have time. Let's double up, let's triple up, let's get lots of lessons done. Instead, I take our time to explore the things. We add in like a lot of logic, games, and books and things like that. We maybe learn some extra state history. We do more art projects. We do some crafts that have purpose, some more purposeful crafts, like learning to crochet, or I have one kid that wants to learn to embroider. We do 4-H projects. Maybe they spend time with a sibling. Maybe that's when we spend some more time doing some social activities. So, yes, we can get our work done faster. That doesn't mean we're not working hard. It means that the kids are able to cut out some of the transition time and time that's necessary when you have more kids around. Okay, 4th one is that parents aren't qualified to teach their children. Now, I will tell you, number 1, I went to school for education. My education classes were solely focused on classroom management, and there were some cool things about learning to teach. I shouldn't say that. There were some good things about learning to teach. Like we learned a lot about doing the Socratic method. I remember like long lessons on the Socratic method. But the truth is, when you teach in public school, there was not time to ever do a Socratic method lesson, which Socratic method is a lot of questioning back and forth to get the kids to start to develop their own answers. There was never time to actually do those types of discussions. So how helpful was that? I did have some classes on how to teach science. Again, these long lessons we learned to write out that would work really well. There wasn't always time to do those, or there was very rarely time to do those types of lessons. So I don't know that a degree in education is really super useful. I did take lots of science classes, and that was very useful because I have a degree in science education. So what I will say, though, for younger kids, if your education in public school did not prepare you to teach basic math and basic reading, the public school system already failed you. There are so many resources available, though. There's online videos. There are like YouTube videos and things that teach you. Most of the homeschool curriculums will walk you step by step through how to teach things. You can look things up. I mean, I can Google in the middle of doing a lesson. I can be like, hold on, I'm not sure about this. Let's Google and look it up. As your kids get older, if you start to feel unqualified, you can mix up and do some things with friends. That's how we do co-op. I teach high school science. A lot of parents don't want to teach high school science, but somebody else is teaching my kindergartner, and that's great. Somebody else is teaching my other kids. So we can pair up. You can pair up with some friends and do things. There's lots of online classes available, but also the textbooks are written so you can learn with your child as you're doing these things, especially when they're in elementary, middle school, even high school when you have the time. You can stop and be like, let's just read the book together. We're going to learn science together. So let's open the book, let's read it, let's talk through it, let's find a video on this that expands on the topic. You can learn with your kids. I do wish there were a few more homeschool lessons on how to teach like phonics and how to some different hands-on methods and ideas and things you can use. But there are a huge amount of curriculum available that will help and guide you. So those are 4 myths that I'm debunking today. I have at least one of them I have repeated. I have at least 3 more on here. So hopefully I will do a second video on some other homeschool myths. So myth number 1, socialization. Yes, your kids can be socialized, and I think in a better and more healthy way. Number 2, homeschool kids are weird. They might be, but so might public school kids. Some people are just weird, and we should all embrace our unique gifts given by God and use them for His glory and find our friends and our people that fit with us. Number 3, we don't work hard enough. Yes, we work plenty hard, or you should be working plenty hard. We may get done in a more efficient time manner because we're dealing one-on-one, and one-on-one tutoring is always more efficient than group tutoring. And number 4, parents aren't qualified. Yes, you are qualified. You may have to put extra effort in to figure and learn things out, but that is worth the time and energy that you have to put into it. I hope that is helpful to you on some homeschooling myths, and that yes, you can do this. It is work, and it is well worth the work and effort that you'll have to put in. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. But what are your favorite homeschool myths? Thanks for joining us today. Please leave a comment if you have something else you'd like me to talk about or you have any questions. Please hit the like button and subscribe to see more videos about what we do.